And so to practically, justly and sustainably exercise return and self-determination, the Israeli colonial apartheid regime must be dismantled. And this is a regime that is prohibited under international law. So this means that the policies and practices that were put in place, which caused the international crimes of forced displacement and transfer, colonization, and apartheid to occur in the first place, and that have been in place since at least 1948, they must be eliminated. Then the question is, how do we dismantle the Israeli colonial apartheid regime? Or more accurately, how is it that to this day, the atrocities and crimes committed by the Israeli regime have been allowed not only to continue, but to escalate? The Israeli regime would not be able to implement, sustain, and expand its colonial apartheid regime in Palestine and the Arab region without the support and complicity of its colonial allies. So colonial Western states have not only stood on the sidelines of our ongoing Nakba, but have provided the Israeli regime with the political, economic, and military resources it needs to establish, maintain, and expand its oppression and domination. So here we can talk about the Balfour Declaration, the UN Partition Plan of 1947, the International Day of Solidarity with the Palestinian people, the Oslo Accords, the Deal of the Century, the never-ending peace process, the US vetoes in the United Nations General Assembly, and dozens of other examples how powerful colonial states have taken an active role in denying the right of self-determination and return of the Palestinian people by supporting the Israeli colonial apartheid regime. These measures and instruments, as well as many others, have been used by the Israeli regime and its colonial allies in an attempt to legitimize Israel's illegal presence and domination in Palestine and impose, under the false promises of a two-state solution and the peace process, their colonial aspirations for the region. These colonial states have had an enormous influence over how the Palestinian question has been managed over the last century. And their influence is quite obvious when we look at the recent ICJ advisory opinion of July of 2024 and the UNGA resolution of September 2024. Both the advisory opinion and the resolution are heavily influenced by the international community's prevalent conflict management paradigm and decontextualization approach. This approach, of course, ignores the root causes, advances a balanced framework where the parties of the conflict are on equal footing, and it does not recognize a situation of oppressor and oppressed, colonizer and colonized. The conflict resolution paradigm seeks to manage rather than provide just and durable solutions grounded in international law, principles, and standards. The decontextualization of the legal, historical, and political context based on the use of the highly restrictive 1967 framework has led the promotion of this management approach to dangerously place restrictions on the fulfillment of the rights of self-determination and return to the entirety of the Palestinian people.